Wars are usually full of action, battles, explosions, epic last stands. But what if I told you that one war lasted over 3 centuries, and not a single shot was fired? No battles, no casualties, just 335 years of nothing. This is the story of the most boring war in history, the 335-year war between the Netherlands and the Isles of Scilly. Let's set the stage. The year is 1651. England is in the middle of a civil war between the Royalists, supporters of King Charles I, and the Parliamentarians led by Oliver Cromwell. The Royalists were losing badly, and their last few supporters fled to the Isles of Scilly, a tiny, remote archipelago off the southwest coast of England. Now here's where things get weird. For some reason the Netherlands, yes, the Dutch, decided they had a bone to pick with these stranded royalists. The Dutch Navy showed up off the coast of Scilly and, in a dramatic move, declared war on the islands. Now, normally when you declare war you actually, do something, but in this case nothing happened. No battles, no invasions, no threats. The Dutch just kind of forgot about it. Then, just a few months later, the Parliamentarians crushed the last of the Royalists, took back Scilly, and the Dutch sailed away. But, and this is important, nobody officially ended the war. The Dutch never signed a peace treaty, and so the war technically just kept going. Years passed, decades, then centuries. Generations of people lived and died, completely unaware that a war was still technically happening. The Netherlands and the Isles of Scilly remained at peace, but on paper, they were still at war. For 335 years, absolutely nothing happened. No one cared, no one even remembered, until 1986. In 1986, a historian named Roy Duncan, who lived on Scilly, discovered the forgotten war and reached out to the Dutch government. The Netherlands, realizing they were technically still at war with a tiny island they had long forgotten, decided to put an official end to it. So, after 335 years of nothing, a Dutch ambassador traveled to the Isles of Scilly and signed a peace treaty. And just like that, history's most pointless war was finally over. No battles, no casualties, no war heroes, just 335 years of the world's most uneventful conflict. So the next time someone tells you history is full of action, remind them of the 335-year war. The longest and most boring war in history. At least it had a happy ending. Subscribe for more strange history. Comment, what's the weirdest war you've heard of?